Hey horror fans, so I continue my reviews for the Japanese guinea pig films with part 3, He Never Dies, which came out, I believe, 1986? Yeah, 1986. Also known as Guinea Pig 3 Shudder, The Man Who Never Dies, or simply Guinea Pig 3 He Never Dies. Directed by Masayuki Hizazumi. This is the first one where they really abandoned the simulated snuff approach that was in Devil's Experiment, Flowers of Flesh and Blood. Which, to the person that commented saying that I was just as fucked up as Charlie Sheen for thinking Flowers of Flesh and Blood was a real snuff film, I pretty much meant, because it must have meant when I said real or reenactment, I meant within the context of the film. As far as the opening text in the film, I couldn't remember if we were seeing the quote real film that's within the story or the reenactment. So whatever. Obviously, I know none of these are real films, real snuff films. Some people just don't like to listen. Just like if this was on a fan page and it was just like a post or a comment, they wouldn't have read what I said correctly anyway. But anyway, so this was He Never Dies was the first one that really made like a story narrative to get us through. It's about 50 minutes long, so it's still very short. And it's pretty much just about this guy who he works in this office building. He's not really liked or popular. He kind of walked all over, kind of unlucky. He's about to slit his wrists, commit suicide, but he realizes that not only is he not feeling pain, but he can never die. So he just starts to do all this different shit to himself and gets bloodier and bloodier. And then he calls a couple co-workers over to try and scare them as a practical joke. And that's basically it. I mean, this is also one of two that try to employ like darkly humorous or comedic elements into the story. The other one being the I think it's the last film, Devil Woman Doctor or something like that. There's always been disputes over that and Mermaid to Manhole being the 4th or 6th film produced and released. But anyway, so He Never Dies. Like the first two films, it has good gore, it has good blood, and there's plenty of it. It is very incredibly silly. It really is. Because the co-workers that he calls over, because the people he wants to call over, it's actually a couple that he works with. I think he has a crush on the girlfriend, but I could be wrong. But first, the boyfriend goes over, tells him to bring over some sharp implements for whatever reason. He wears this Elvis mask, and of course, it's over the top. he's wearing this Elvis mask. He's gonna go over to mess with this guy that's mutilating himself, but he doesn't know this what he's doing. So of course, like when he gets to the door, of course he's like snickering and making it look like he's laughing from behind the mask. Does all this air guitar shit. And of course, then he gets in the apartment, and the guy, he's got like a protractor through his head. He sees, the guy's all mutilated, and he's doing this deep voice like, I am the man that cannot die, and all this shit. And he's pretty much, he looks at him, he's doing all this like scared faces, but it's all over the top, silly, goofy shit. Then eventually, that guy's girlfriend goes over, and, well, first he like lifts his pajamas and he like stabs himself, cuts himself open in front of the guy. Then by the time that girlfriend gets over, he's pretty much just a head on a table. And he's trying to do the whole thing like, the man that cannot die, how do you... And she's screaming and freaking out. But then she just kind of cuts it off and is just like, look at this mess you made. And that's when he's just like... He just makes all these goofy, like, oh, shit, uh-oh, faces. She wakes her boyfriend up and they just start cleaning, and... He's just kind of a head on a table doing all this, I got you, kind of like, I know, kind of faces. I'd only seen this film once before. That was when I got all these guinea pig films. I'm not a fan of it. I wasn't really a fan rewatching it. I can't really get too mad because of how short they are. It's not like I've dedicated a whole lot of time, but I would say it's one of the worst ones. As far as the one from like 3 all the way to the end, where they try to put, where it has like stories instead of the simulated snuff, I would probably say Mermaid is still the best one. But this one would be not shortly, but this one would be next after the Mermaid one, but way down the line. Because even though I did like this better than the Android one, and definitely the Devil Doctor Woman one, it's not by much. I mean, I like the idea of a guy who wants to commit suicide, then realizes he's immortal and can't feel pain or can't die. I didn't think the humor worked. I appreciated them trying to use humor, but just the way they went about it, just the actors, on top of just being really poor actors, just acting overly silly to begin with, that it seemed like that was mainly the humor. But yeah, I was not a fan of Guinea Pig 3, He Never Dies. Next I will be going over Mermaid in a Manhole, which, yeah, a lot of people don't know if this was the 4th or 6th film. I saw it 4th. I'm going to treat it as such, but yeah, it also came with He Never Dies, but I didn't have a cover of it. But yeah, Guinea Pig 3, He Never Dies, really nothing special. Only thing going for it, just like the rest of the series, would be the gore and the blood, which is well done. But it's not enough to save it. Again, it's only 50 minutes. How mad can I get? But yeah, this is one of the first ones I think of when I think of, the series being shitty. So yeah, Guinea Pig 3, He Never Dies, 1986. Really nothing special. Thank you for watching.